bit of a busy sunrise over here. We've got a nice sunrise over here, and then we got a bunch of clouds. We just gone through those ones, but it's a busy morning. But it's nice. We're coming up to the equator. 200, just over 200 miles to the equator, so it's good. See ya.
Hello Seawolves, and welcome back to perhaps almost the last or the one before last show before we have not the ultimate finish of the Vendeeglobe. It's not over yet by far, but before we have the first finish in the Vendeeglobe. They're getting so close to France now, and well, nice to open with Sam Goodchild there, who is actually also in first position because he overtook Jeremy Bijou again in the last 24 hours. So he's also kind of a number, well, he's technically number 4, but number 1 of the peloton. Back more on that in the technical analysis, but well, lots to talk about. However, I don't have a sunset today. They just didn't give me one, so it's not my fault. It's up to the skippers ultimately to provide them, and there just wasn't a sunset today. So I was thinking about what do we do for the toast today, and I thought of something, because a lot of you have asked, Flo, why do you have this? You know, some people think it's an ostrich, but what does it have to do with sailing? Actually, it has more to do with sailing than you perhaps thought, and this toast will show you why. Are you ready? I hope you have something delicious in your, by now for sure, it's one day before the finish, so it must be an official Seawolf mug. I have some delicious Earl Grey in here. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Cheers, Wolves. Yeah, so that is what it actually has to do with sailing, because this was literally made on my boat. We have a little festival that I started 4 years ago actually. We call it Drowning Man. It's kind of the opposite of Burning Man. You know, everybody's always talking about, oh, Burning Man, blah, blah. So I thought, hey, you know what, we'll do the opposite, but we'll do like the Dutch version of it. I'll call it Drowning Man, and it's just basically me and a bunch of friends, you know, putting like a lot of boats together and make a big island. And then for one weekend, we just like barbecue, party, and just have a great fun time. And because I'm an art dealer, I always invite one artist to like make some kind of cool art piece. I already did that several times with like different paintings. And Niels, he became a little bit like the house painter of the festival, let's say. And so this particular one is from last edition. And I decided to kind of, you know, keep it for now in my own house because I really like it. It's like good memory. So it is kind of sort of for sale. Maybe one day I'll sell it, but for now I'm keeping it nicely here. So good memories, and actually it's about being on the water and about sailing. So it actually works with the theme of the show. Hey, we are nearly at the finish. Many of you were asking, Flo, what is the actual record? The last record is from Amal Leclerc still in 2016, is 74 days, 3 hours and 35 minutes. And right now we are in day 63 with the finish pretty much, you know, I'm not going to say for sure because I don't want to jinx it, but it looks like it's going to be on the 14th. So 2 days from now, but 48 hours actually almost exactly from now, which would make it 65 days. So that means that all the new foiling technology
Bien, 30 nœuds, petit saut de vague.
and a little bit of the help from the weather, because we have to say that both Jon and Charlie got extremely lucky with all those Lady Fortune passes that were just like, normally there's a big depression or a big high here, but you know what, we'll just put it out of the way so you guys can breeze on through, means that they will probably break it by something around 9 days. So it was a very hard record to break, and now it's going to be 9 days shorter, which will probably mean 65 days and change. So yeah, pretty cool. Quite an extraordinary Vendeeglobe that we've all been together with watching through, and yeah, the difference couldn't be greater when we look at sort of where Dennis van Wijnberg is, now compared to them already being in the finish. It also never happened that somebody finished and Dennis, I think, still isn't even at Point Nemo. So yeah, it's quite crazy. It's quite a big difference, and it proves that the foils work, right? That both the new hull designs, because there's also a significant change there. I think the bow, the scow bows have really proven themselves also for sure, but the foils definitely are a major advantage. Being able to kind of stay with the storms, the fact that both Charlie and Jon have basically had maybe 2.5, depending on how you count it, lows in the entire Southern Ocean. Like in my pre-analysis, I said it's usually like 4, 5, sometimes 6, 2. It's crazy, but that meant that they kind of stayed with the system very long, then had to wait a bit, another one, and boom, they were around the Southern Ocean. Crazy. So, in other news, unfortunately, Eric Bellion is retiring from the race. So I told you yesterday that he was heading for the Falklands because he had a problem with his J2 stay, which is similar to saying he had a problem with his mainstay, because I explained yesterday the J2 stay is the stay that really keeps the mast up. It's the main structural stay for keeping the mast up. And so ultimately it was a deck fitting problem, damage that he was not able to fix without assistance from outside. So he's going to fix it now, and just like Yannick Besthaven, he probably in a few days will have fixed it and will make his way still to Les Sables, where he probably will arrive, not technically in last place at all, but in order to get the outside assistance, you have to give up in the race. It is a around the world without assistance exclusively race. So it's unfortunate for Eric Bellion, but his official Vendeeglobe at least is over. So very sorry for Alec, and I hope he gets everything back in order soon. Then also Violette Dorange.
À 40 nœuds et ça va être comme ça pendant 20 heures à peu près, et donc j'ai pas voile d'avant, je suis sous 2 riz GV, 2 riz et pas 3 parce que 2 riz c'est pour protéger le mât, mais du coup c'est un peu chaud. Pas hyper sereine.
Lost her J3 overboard, so no hook problems as far as I know, but just a torn sail and halyard. So J3 in the water. It's kind of almost as bad as the J2 as far as the sail goes, but the J3 is the really small one, so that's the most inner little jib that they have, and so yeah, it's unfortunate. On the other hand, it is one of those sails that is very close to the storm sail. She still has the storm sail, so she could alternatively maybe use that to kind of, you know, still have a bit of extra sail. So it's only a few square meters more. That you would be missing. And as far as, you know, like if you have to choose which sail to lose, I would say you want to lose the J3 if you had the choice, because it's the smallest one. So you lose the least square meterage. It's only in very, very strong winds that you're really going to miss that. So all in all, it's unfortunate. And of course also she is, yeah, I guess more in the adventure part of the race really now, and not, you know, in like the top 10 or anything like that, where it would be like really kind of disastrous. Whenever you lose a sail, and other than that, her boat is still in good shape, so she can still race on. So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is, and she can still race.
Dépression pas très forte, hein. Il y a 20 de moyen, c'est important, mais alors qu'est-ce que ça brouille, mon Dieu, ce que ça plante quoi. On est pas du tout toilé comme on devrait, on devrait être beaucoup plus toilé, mais on tiendrait jamais le Grand Génac. Retouché du vent.
Nice shot, huh? On board with Alan Roura, and Sebastian Simon also did an English language interview. Here we go.
How's life today, passing the Azores in third place?
It was pretty nice. I had really great conditions the last 2 days. Downwind with 20-25 knots. The sea state wasn't really good, but the boat was pretty fast, so it was great. And right now I have a really nice sunrise, as you can see behind me. The sea state is better. The wind is dropping, so I have to change my sail. I have to do a peeling fractional 0 to A3. But it's a really nice condition to take some pleasure on this Vendee for the last few days.
I imagine you want to carry on because you're enjoying it, but at the same time you just want to be finished.
Yeah, it's still a long trip because there is 4 days of race, but I can feel that it's almost over, so I am pretty happy. I want to just take pleasure for this last few days and just take all the benefits as I can take. So yeah, I just need to stay focused for the last few days because this night, for example, it was impossible for me to start my engine. I had a small issue. I find the solution. But that means that I need to stay focused on the boat and take care of the boat until the end.
In a few words, Seb, talk to us about the journey over the last few years, because you've had some very difficult times, and this is the good time.
Okay, yeah. It was pretty hard because I did the Vendeeglobe 4 years ago, and I had to give up the Vendeeglobe at the 4th position in the Southern Ocean because I hit something on my foil and I broke my hull, so I was almost sinking. So I stopped my Vendeeglobe in Cape Town. So it was a really bad memory, and after I lost my sponsor. So it was pretty hard for me because the relationship with my sponsor was pretty bad after this thing. So it was really hard for me, but I had only one goal. It was to come back in 2024. So hopefully Groupe du Breuil was we were really close, and they decided to follow me for this adventure. So we worked a lot to be ready for this Vendeglobe, but during the qualification I had a really big crash, a big accident. I broke a vertebra. I had a big head traumatic. I stitched myself on my head, and I spent more than 3 months in my bed with no possibility to move or make some sports or to sailing. But finally we took the start of the Vendeglobe, and maybe we will finish on the 3rd position, so it's amazing.
It's like a Hollywood story, it's like a film.
I don't know. If you are a filmmaker, maybe we can do a film, yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, very cool to hear his perspective also, and obviously, you know, tired. It's been tough for him doing this in 3rd position without one foil, but he's hung in there, and yeah, it really looks like he's going to be making it in position 3. A little reminiscent of what Alex Thompson, of course, did, becoming ultimately 2nd also missing one foil on his Hugo Boss then. So in a way, it's kind of a classic Vendeglobe thing to do, to get a high position, 2, 3, with a broken foil. So in that sense, Sebastian Simon, I guess, is joining a very select group, basically of the 2 sailors that ended in the top 5 with only one foil in the Vendeglobe. So I guess, and in this race especially, he is definitely finishing 1st as far as skippers with only one foil. I mean, there is Isabel Joschka, but she's way further behind. So, you know, with a little luck, he's also going to get kind of a number 1 position in this race ultimately, which is kind of nice. We also have a very, I don't even really know like how to describe this. Let's just say we have an update from Conrad Colman. Here we go.
Hey. So, last time you saw me hiding under this Perspex bubble, I was cruising along in the middle of a depression. And now, well, things have changed a bit. I'm going around an anticyclone, and I'm no longer running for my life. And I can tell you, it feels amazing. After going through, well, around Cape Horn, past the Falklands with that crazy last kicking, I've just melted into a puddle, basically. I just feel like my mind and body have completely... So I'm at 43 degrees south now, so that's almost out of the roaring 40s, and it's like breaking out of winter and into spring. So with the change of season, it's time for a change of look. Now, stupidly, I didn't bring a mirror with me, so I've got my Kevlar scissors here, so that could be dangerous, but it's time to make the beard go away. No mirror, but I don't think I missed any spots. But this is exciting. So, new ocean, new me. I'm feeling refreshed. Got this pot of warm water, hot water. Yes, which is exciting because it's finally warm enough outside for me to get warm water all over me, and hot. And that's a big step up from how I have been showering and doing hygiene on board, which is using these sort of special wilderness or camping wipes. And those are basically sort of grown up. There you go, my scissors. Oh, we're heeling over a lot. Oh, are we going to wipe out? Yes, we are. Okay, that's exciting. I'll be back. Okay, excuse me. I currently have the big Janica, the J3 stay sail, and the full main up. And so I have every stitch of sail that I can find to put up in these conditions. and that's because the wind is quite unstable. It's sort of between 12, sometimes it gets as low as 9, and now it's 19 knots of wind. And I'm trying to go sort of VMG to go around this anticyclone and head northwards. And the sea state is still a little bit lumpy, and so even though the wind is variable, the sea state makes it challenging to go forwards smoothly, and sometimes we just sort of run into a wave and then the boat overpowers and falls over, and it gets exciting and the sails flap for a little bit, and then you ease the sheets and you get the boat back up on its feet and away it goes. So no major dramas, but it's exciting. This is cool. This is not only is this exciting to have a shower, but this is exciting to be doing well in the fleet again. I'm really happy. I took a great western option going up by the Falklands and put some miles on the guys behind, and then because I was the first to turn the corner around the ice gate, while I'm making gains as well on those behind. And now as the carrots in front of me are of course Tanguy Le Toquet and Benjamin Ferré, and it's going to be a tough battle with them as we go up towards Brazil. Basically it's just one long drag race on starboard, so I've already got everything stacked on this side, so that job's already done. And we'll be going from the A3 sort of in this deeper downwind mode to then the code 0 and just reaching all the way up north. So looks like many of the pitfalls that have befallen the boats in front of us are not laying in wait for us. Famous last words. There's no wood on this boat, I can't touch wood. But anyway, the routing looks relatively simple, so we've just got one big long drag race in front of us. So let's get cracking.
Yeah, it's Conrad, what do you say? Hey, so it's time for the maybe one before last tactical update before the first finish. And look at this picture, Wolves. Just look at this picture. You remember this? It seems so long ago now that we looked at the Bay of Biscay, all of the sailors still close together, making their way out Cape Finisterre, and now we see them very much on course, nearly there. And well, if we select Charlie there and look at the routages, it actually looks like they're going to keep some pretty good wind, like all the way there really. It's only in the last bit that you can see that he's a bit getting into an area where it's like 6 to 8 knots, but yeah, 6 to 8, you know, it's still not nothing. So he's going to still be making something like 6 or 7 knots, which, you know, for us people with normal boats is still a pretty good speed. So yeah, just a epic piece of ending to this magnificent race. Same for Joan, no major obstructions. So all in all, they're looking at a beautiful finish in Les Sables there. Very, very yeah, well earned. And yeah, let's just say nothing about it until it's definitely there. But good on them. Now Sebastian, we just yeah, you just saw him, so we already talked about that, making his way past the islands, but he's kind of past the real danger of the Azores High. I think he's found, as you can see, kind of a path through here. And if we look at his routages, it pretty much looks like he's going to be passing through there. Although you can see, like, around him there are several things happening, but it never really gets actually to him. And he, although he has to make a few maneuvers, it seems he's just able to make it through and then go on that same kind of side ridge of that massive system over the northern Atlantic and ride that very, very close to the course that the first two gents are doing towards the Sables, and then along that same little point, kind of around Brest and kind of the Head of France there area, back a little bit into the Bay of Biscay to make his way to Les Sables. So yeah, all good for him there, although of course he still, yeah, probably has 4 days or so to go. And then we have to dig a lot deeper and a lot further all the way to kind of the coast of South America. And there you can see, like I just said, we already were on board with him earlier, that Sam here irked out just a tiny lead. I think it's 5 miles or so. Yeah, it's 5 miles basically, so it's not terribly far. But last time I checked, he was going considerably faster also. Actually, now for the last hour, they are pretty much matched. Actually, Jeremy is a little bit faster right now. But if we look at the 24, yeah, he's only like 0.1 not faster over the last 24 hours. So yeah, he's a little bit ahead, but yeah, they've been very close now for a day, and it just looks like Sam, even though he's on a bit of an older boat, but he's been very fast throughout the race, led the Vendeeglobe also for a while, right? And Jeremy, very fast. I have to tell you, a little bit surprised that we have never really seen an area of the race where his boat with this kind of radical foil design was really, you know, kind of surprisingly faster than the rest. I personally, also based on some of the earlier races before the Vendee, really thought that he might have like sort of like an extra gear on there somewhere, and that there would be like some circumstance, a bit like what we've seen with Jean, that we would have seen something like what we've seen with Jean, where just everybody goes a certain speed and then suddenly there's Jeremy just like flying ahead of everybody. And I gotta tell you, we haven't really seen it. Yeah, I'm quite surprised actually by that, though we did get some excellent more shaky cam footage from Jeremy Bijou there. I hope you're all still didn't get too queasy from that. It's amazing. I don't know what he's done with his phone or his GoPro, but like every single video is just uncontrollably shaking. It's crazy. Of course, behind there we have also Paul Malott. Let's not forget Doing Nice, but he is quite a bit behind there. And interestingly, I talked yesterday about Nicholas Lundven, Thomas Rouillant and Boris, and I said that I personally thought that actually wind-wise, I thought both Thomas and Boris were maybe in a better position than Nicholas Lundven, but it seems so far Nicholas has been taking advantage here more so than the other two gents, and has held on to his 7th position there, and I think it looks from this position at least that that's also going to stay. So good on him, although if we look at the speeds now, both Thomas and Boris basically almost just as fast. Like Thomas is doing good, Boris is a little bit slower, but Boris is actually right on the edge in like a little bit less wind, so he's only just making his way into the stronger wind. So yeah, if they can kind of keep matched, it still could go a lot of different ways over the Azores High and the doldrums, but yeah, so far very close, and I guess Nicholas taking position there. Justine Mutro, she's just been like super solid kind of in the back there, seemingly not really making her way closer, but also not falling anywhere near behind, and keeping Samantha Davis and Clarice Kramer, and we have also Benjamin Dutroux here, pretty much also equidistance away. So we can take a quick look here at Clarice's prediction just to see if there's any change there from yesterday, but yeah, I think not. No, like I said, the chance that we talked about 2 days ago, where it looked for a second like maybe Clarice and Sam, etc., would be able to maybe catch up to Justine a little bit. But yeah, as of now, we don't see any predictions that are saying that. Then, of course, the situation with Jean. You remember that yesterday the prediction was saying that by now, of course, everybody would have made their way past Jean again. No one is surprised that didn't happen. Although I don't know how he's going to get out of this one, because there is a big area, a big high pressure area in front of him. And as far as the routes are saying, they're all saying that he needs to make his way like a lot to the west now in order to kind of get into the wind, because this is going to, well, at least the prediction is saying that's going to persist. Now, the one sort of ace in the hole here is that 2 days ago, when Jean made that certain ride, like to some very low wind, and was able to basically cut out like a 50 or 60 mile lead while everybody else was really not going anywhere, those situations looked very similar to those very light winds that he has in front of him. So maybe Leroy Jean has some kind of little plan, some kind of setup, because there is some wind here. And it is also, if you look at the angle of it, I don't know if you guys can see it here, but the angle would be like it's 6 knots, and it would be basically kind of a beam reach angle, which moves a little bit forward with the speed of the boats. So, you know, saying that he would go 6-7 knots, it could be with his big A sail that it's actually, because it's not no wind, it's some wind. And we saw him on the way over also at some point, you know, taking the different side of the islands in low wind, sort of making a split. So it could be, since he already went so far to the west, that he probably has some kind of plan there, right? So I'm not discounting the possibility that he actually won't make a tack or jibe here, and is just going to be going straight on through the light winds, kind of making his way further north, and now sort of connecting and sort of avoiding this whole area here, which, with the history now in this particular VG of everybody kind of getting stuck there around Rio, Jean saying, you know what, I'm just going to stay far away from there and take whatever I can get, staying away from that area where so far everybody got stuck. So with everybody in the group heading there, it would make sense for him to make a split there. It would be a typical Jean thing to do anyways. Other than that, yeah, everybody got very close together, so it is cool that by the time that this finishes, maybe with Jean ahead, which would be really cool if he actually wins from this entire group, right, in 14th position, would be super cool. But we have now basically Roman Atanasio kind of ahead there, right behind him Damien Seguin, Giancarlo Pedotte, Isabel Yorshko also again in a pretty good place, so just that whole group doing nicely. A little bit a lone leader of his pack, and as you can see, almost maybe connecting to Jean's pack. If you look at it visually, I mean, the distances are big here, so make no mistake there. But Conrad has been doing well, and he's caught into the new wind here. We can take a quick look at his prediction here also for a second. Let's see, because it's saying that he has a pretty good line there, so I'm going to guess that he's going to fly nicely with the wind. Yeah, but also right into that area of like no wind at all there. I don't know if this, like, it's been such a bad place for everybody to get stuck. I feel they should go more, even more to the east maybe, stay there and just take whatever they can get on that side. But at least you can see it predicts here that Conrad will get back into the group with Jean, which would be ironic because I literally told, well, let's say it's a private joke that I tell Conrad every time, like, hey man, have you caught Jean yet? And of course, you know, he's like, the king is gone, the king is gone. But if he would actually catch up with him, that would be pretty cool. If he could like get anywhere near sight of Jean again in this race, I think Conrad would be pretty happy with that. If he can actually step away from this group in the end and sort of go towards that middle foiler slash daggerboard group, that would be really something. That would really be a big win for Conrad. So yeah, let's hope that he does it. It would be super cool. Okay, then behind there, so we have Kajira Jarishi, you saw earlier, Anna Borzeris and Violette we talked about, so we lost her J3, but otherwise good. We have Eric here on the Falklands, so he now retired. And we see Toot Good still making his way to the Cape. Same for Antoine Cornick and Jean-Jin Zhu. And yeah, not surprisingly, we have the everlasting battle still going on. I should make a video about that actually at some point. Fabrice Amadeo and Manuel Kozin. And behind there, still kind of the same distance, Dennis van Wijnberg. And yeah, that's it again for the analysis today. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you have a nice Sunday evening. And make sure to like, subscribe, and see you tomorrow for a very, very near finish Seawolves TV episode. Ciao, Wolves!